everybody. Welcome to our office hours this morning. We're just about to get started, so thank you to all for being with us online. My name is Felicity Shirk, and I'm here on behalf of the City of Toronto Small Business Centre. I'm a small business advisor, and one of the things that I work on is our mentorship program. So we are very, very happy to have one of our volunteer mentors hosting today's session. Kabir Chaudhry is here with us today. He is a results-driven marketing leader and has over 10 years of digital marketing and business growth experience. He specializes in performance-based marketing for brand awareness and lead generation. His work experience consists of working with B2B, B2C, and B2G audiences with over $100 million in campaign management. He also has international work experience from 5 different countries, including here in Canada, the United Kingdom, USA, Belgium, and India. So, of course, today's session, which we will get going on in just a few moments, is going to, over the next hour, Kabir is going to take you through a presentation that he has developed. It's going to teach you a number of ways through which you can build a strong online presence for your business with a focus on lead generation. So on behalf of the City of Toronto Small Business Enterprise Centre, I want to thank Kabir for being a part of our mentorship network. He's one of our invaluable mentors who works on 10,000 Coffees to connect with you, to respond to messages. So I want to thank everyone for attending today and being part of our 10,000 Coffees community. The City of Toronto Small Business Centre is committed to, providing a mentorship platform that you can use to connect with one another, whether it's for networking or whether it's, receiving guidance and encouragement from expert leaders like Kabir. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic over to Kabir to take you through the session and enjoy. And thank you also for submitting your questions in advance. And I hope everyone enjoys today and have a wonderful session. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. So good morning, everyone. So thanks for joining today. I know it's like slightly early. Some of you might be at work or you about to start the work. So I'm going to start off with the session with some introduction on lead generation. I know some of you guys already have some understanding. Some of you might already be using lead generation for your businesses, but I'm just taking this session as an account with for those of you who are just starting off, right? So that way, it would kind of give you insight on what lead generation is, what brand awareness is, what are the differences, and I'm obviously going to take all your questions at the end, and we would have enough time for it. So I don't have a lot of slides go back and forth. And hopefully, if we have enough time, I might take some new questions as well. All right, so let's just jump into the live session now. Let's just start off with the first thing. Okay, so lead generation. I'm pretty sure some of you guys are already doing it. Some of you are struggling with it. Some of you are okay, what is lead generation? I know I have to get some new business. Now you guys are telling me lead generation is something that is part of marketing, and why should I be focusing on it? Well, lead generation has been there for years and years, and especially when any prospect client that you connect with, they're considered a lead, right? Now, a definition of a lead itself can differ from business to business, right? For someone, it could be someone who's trying to buy into a service, buying into a product, buying into a physical place, or for example, real estate. People they do a lot of lead generation themselves. So lead could be a number of things, right? And it works in different niches, any client that can convert into a paying customer is a lead, right? Now, with regards to the lead generation process, or what I usually give, as a roadmap of what to follow in terms of steps, I do have like, like on my screen, like few things that I usually like start off with, like especially for those of you who already are doing lead generation, or even for like the ones that are starting off, this would give you a, like a quick overview of the process itself. Now, number one mistake that I see with majority of my clients, and I can tell you, like I work with over 500 clients right now, and number one mistake that I find with them, maybe it could be like a company that they hired in the past, or they are doing their lead generation on their own. They don't have a clue in terms of where their customers hang out. Like they do know who they want as a business, but they don't have any understanding where they hang out. Now, when I say where your customers hang out, what I mean by that is like what platforms are they using? Where are they going to, like browse for information about businesses like yours? Like all of those things like need a bit of research. So I would say, as a business owner or a marketer, you need to understand, like step one, like understand your customers. That is super important. And I usually, if I take on a client, I make sure like I would spend like at least a week understanding every single thing about the customer. I will create like a full like demographic, geographic information about the client. Like that could be like, like the age group, what type of platforms do they prefer, what kind of websites or competitors already have those clients and customers. So all of those things are part of understanding your customer. Now, step two, growth strategy. Now growth strategy like can evolve over the time, right? Like you can constantly change your growth strategy. It's not like, okay, I have a strategy now, do I follow this for like X amount of months or years? Well, the answer is you keep changing your strategy. Now, one thing about lead generation that I believe like most of you guys that already do it would probably know, like there's a thing called cost per lead, right? Like you spend an X amount of marketing budget, or you do some sort of like organic or paid marketing, and you get a lead for an X amount of dollar, right? Or we can call it like cost of acquiring a client. So that usually is what people are, like trying to figure out. Now, cost per a lead is something that you would know when you run like ads at a number of places, but like growth strategy kind of gives an overview of what you want to do. Now, I had customers, like or clients who were like a team of like 2 or 3 people, and they was like, well, do we really need like a growth strategy even though we are such a small company? The answer is yes. If you don't document it, you're just never gonna get a proper answer in terms of how much the leads are gonna cost or where to find it. So like that's why like I would always recommend, and it could be like there's no right or wrong strategy. I mean, till the time you don't try out your lead generation platforms, there's no way you would understand what's going to work or what's not going to work, right? If something works for your competitor, good. Like you can start off from there. You can figure out what's working with your competitor. That's usually one of the things that I usually would like to do, is like understand the market, understand the customer, and then understand the competition. Once you understand the competition, they already have done like, or maybe like spend like like a few $100,000 on their marketing, and they already have figured out a like a piece of pie in terms of like where the customers are. So just figure out what they are doing. Now, platform and tool selection. Now that's like number one question that everyone like any session that I do, people would go like, hey, which platform should I start off with? Should I go on Facebook? Should I go on Instagram? Should I go on Google Ads? Should I go hire an agency that would do these 4 platforms? Well, the answer is, that answer you probably gonna get at the stage 1. Understand your customers, right? I mean, giving an example, let's say you're trying to target like people that are like between the age of 18 to 25. Well, like, I mean, and then you say like, hey, I run all my ads on Facebook. I mean, that's an option, right? But like you can go on Snapchat, you can go on Instagram, or TikTok. That's where the audience is, right? A bit more professional or mature audience, you go like, well, people between the age of let's say 35 to 45, where do I find those guys? And like, I mean, the answer is LinkedIn or Facebook, right? Every platform has a a certain age group that follows that platform. So you have to figure out where your clients are hanging out or what platforms they are hanging out on. Now, once you do your platform selection, like the thing that you're gonna probably gonna come to is like cost per lead, right? And you might go like, hey, I use like 3 different platforms. I use Instagram, I use LinkedIn. I also do a bit of email marketing, which could be like, like cold outreach emails that you send to like different clients that you find. Now, the answer for that is like any platform that is bringing you the lowest amount of, in terms of like the cost, the lowest amount, or in terms of the lead or the result. And the answer like after that would be, is that lead converting for you? Now you might go like, hey, I run ads on Facebook, I get like hundreds of leads, but they're no good. Like no one picks up my call. I keep on like trying to like engage them over emails, but there's no response. Well, the answer could be like, you're not just like, either it could be the nurturing problem. Like, I don't know if everyone understands what nurturing is. Nurturing is basically making sure your lead is kept warm throughout the process till the time you get in touch with them. Now, once you figure out your winners in terms of your cost per lead, your platform that are converting the most, you spend all your dollars on that. You just don't, I mean, you can try a bunch of platforms, but like any platform that is bringing you the best cost per result, you focus on those platforms. Now, step 5. This also kind of follows back to step 2, because you're going to restructure your growth strategy. Now, tracking and retention strategy. Now, I know a lot of people that run ads, or they have an agency that does, lead generation for them, and they have almost like no tracking, or they have no idea of how their numbers really look. Now, if you don't understand your numbers in your business, especially in terms of like small things like how many people are visiting your website, what is the cost per click on your ad, or I had clients in the past that didn't even knew what was the cost per acquiring a client, and I would just ask like, what is your cost per acquiring a client, and they would just look clueless. They would like no idea. And they were like, oh, I have someone who does this for me, and the agency guy would know, and the agency guy would not share the information as well. Like they sign up some sort of like agreement where they're just like promoting not based on results. So that's that. Now, this is very overview level. Some of you guys might go like, hey, give me more insight on growth strategy or platforms. I would do that with the Q&A that we're going to do in a while. Now, for those of you who just joined, welcome again. And I know like some of you guys are like still joining in. So let me just move to the next part of this slide. And in case if anyone missed anything, I would have a recording of this. Now, the big question. Now, this is like one of the hottest topic that I have come across like over the years. Like people are like, hey, do I focus on brand awareness or do I focus on lead generation? The answer is, if you are like a bootstrap company, always focus on lead generation. But then you might go like, well, what about brand awareness? Like, do I just completely ignore it, or what is the use of brand awareness? Well, brand awareness comes in action. Let's say if you are running let's say if you have me as a client, right? And you're supposed to like give me a call like next Monday, or we are connected on social media and you're trying to like, convert me as a client. Now, brand awareness is something that's going to help you convert me better. Let's say if I see a retargeting ad saying like, showcasing reviews about your company, or showcasing information about what other services you provide. Now that would like subconsciously, consciously make me think, okay, I've seen them somewhere online, right? People like to connect with brands that get the most amount of attention, right? Ever heard that saying like attention, like money follows attention? That's where brand awareness kind of works for you. So like, I mean, lead generation is good. You're gonna, a lot of people struggle with it, but like I would say like lead generation is not even the hardest part. Like converting a lead, nurturing a lead is the part that you're going to struggle the most with. That's going to be overcome with brand awareness. If people like recognize you, if they have seen some sort of information about you online, they would always follow you. They would like, okay, I recognize this brand. Okay. Also, guys, like one small request: if everyone can stay on mute, please, just in case there's a bit of disturbance from someone's mic. Now, in terms of like, what do you focus? If you are a bootstrap company, always go for lead generation. Okay, don't waste your money on brand awareness, because like people are still going to see your ad, and while you do the process of lead generation, they would still recognize you, right? Now, brand awareness is something that like a lot of big companies do. Reason being, they have the budget for it. They just like want everyone to know about their brand, right? They want like almost like a 90% of the share of the market to like see their advertising, right? But not every small company or a startup would have that level of budget. So I would say focus on lead generation from day one. If you know something that works for you, or if you have some sort of like a platform that is working for you, or like I would just go 10x on the ad spend. Like you don't hold on to like, okay, I need money for like to save for my brand awareness, or I need to do this and that. I would just say like always go for lead generation. Like day one, once you're basic stuff like website and landing pages set up, go for lead generation. Now, in terms of, again, they both are equally good. Whatever you do, brand awareness or lead generation, always make sure there's a way to capture the lead. If you're not, you might run like a YouTube ad. Okay, that's like, I've seen a lot of people that run like testimonial ads or like review-based ads, right? And they run it, and there's like you click on the video and there's no action after it. Like you can't go on a website. It could be like the worst thing that I would say that someone can do is like not having a call to action button, or not leading the person to like a form or like a lead form. That's what we usually capture our leads on. Now, I have some common mistakes that people make. I have that on one of the slides. Like I like to show that, like and that is based on like years of experience. Like honestly, I've done like lead generation for like straight 7 years, and before that I used to do strategy for like different businesses. And what I've learned, like even like the biggest, like it doesn't matter, like it could be like a team of 5 people, it could be a team of 50 or 500 employees. Like if you are missing on like key concepts, you might like not just get the proper results. All right, sorry, just had to. Now let's move on to our next slide. And now I know like a lot of people like, and I mentioned this earlier as well, like what are the best platforms that I should be on, or what platforms do you recommend? Well, there's no right or wrong platform. Like people, like if any website that gets an X amount of audience, and that audience it overlaps with your audience, that's your platform. Like there's no right or wrong answer with regards to where what type of platforms to pick from, right? Now, these are some like platforms that I over the years have seen, and especially like with lead generation, these are like the favorite choices. Like I've seen like people like constantly focusing on all of these, like Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what those two platforms are. They have their own lead forms, so they are pretty good. And Facebook, I would say, right, is still one of the biggest platform in terms of the audience in Canada. Okay, YouTube is another favorite one, but I think like Google Ads kind of covered that part as well. But like email marketing, another mistake that I've seen, people don't have like a CRM software, no matter how big or small as a company you are. If you are not nurturing your leads properly, then there's already a big mistake. Like you have to go 2 steps back, get a CRM for yourself, make sure your data is stored properly, make sure each and every contact that you get is like stored properly. Like one of the things that one of my mentors told me like a few years back, like every lead is like almost like worth like $1 million. You never know like the lifetime span of a lead, right? So you have to make sure you pretty much like store all that information, and you keep those leads warm by number of email marketing. Now, email marketing only works if you have enough people on your database. But like even if you have like 100 people on your database, they deserve an email from you. They need a shout out from you about your services. If you're not doing that, you're already missing on, like a lot of like good stuff. Now, there's another stat that I would drop, like for everyone, like in terms of like getting a new customer, you probably would need to go through new 5 leads, right? In terms of renewing an old customer, like that's like easy, right? Like if someone's already connected, it's always an easy sell, right? Now, LinkedIn and Twitter, like again, LinkedIn, if your company wants to connect with professionals, LinkedIn is like a really good choice. Reason being, you're not going to find people that are trying to date over there. You're not going to find people that are trying to, anything that you're going to find on Facebook, like they're not selling, like garage stuff to you, or they're not doing anything that you're probably going to find on Facebook or any other Instagram per se. So LinkedIn is pretty good if you are trying to focus on professionals or any type of B2B activity. LinkedIn is like one of the best platforms. Now, I did miss on one thing, that is webinars. And you probably are seeing it's bolded, right? Now, webinars, how many of you know, raise your hand if you know what a webinar is. Okay, perfect. Now, all right, I see like 2 hands being raised. I mean, you all are on a webinar right now, so hopefully now you know what a webinar is. If this is your first experience on a virtual seminar, I would say. Now, webinars, I would say, are my personal favorite. They're #1 lead generation platform. I would say they are the best. Now, reason being, see, like people are always looking for some sort of value, right? We buy products because we see the value in the product, right? Now, webinars are best for lead generation. Reason being, you can offer like free webinars. You can go on like platforms like Eventbrite, or you can go on like Facebook events or LinkedIn events, and you can post a webinar. Even if the webinar gets 100 sign-ups and like 50 people show up, that's a win-win situation, to be honest. Because those are like 50 people that are all ears to you. They want to know what you're trying to solve with your products. Now, obviously, webinars, you can't really go like, hey, attend a webinar and I'm going to sell products to you. Not really that way. You're going to obviously need to create a value for people to attend your webinars. But like, one thing that I can tell you, like for webinars, I probably, with my team in the last 1 year, we probably have generated over 100,000 leads by giving or offering free webinars. Now, trust me, like all of those webinars had the value in terms of what we were telling. Like if they were like crappy webinars, no one's gonna probably gonna join, or like the future ones are just gonna be dead. But like we offered really great value that people are like looking for, and then we try to sell them products. Now, with webinars, again, you build a lot of trust as well. Now you're in front of an audience, like they want to know what you do, right? They want to know how you're going to solve their problems. Now, there's like, again, a free webinar and a paid webinar. Now, the one that you guys are attending right now is like probably like a free webinar we would consider, because you just signed up, you're part of Startup Toronto, and you just like got a chance to like attend this webinar. That you would consider like a free webinar, right? Like there's a value, but you're getting it for free, right? And now there's also paid webinars that people do. Like if they're really good at something that they do, they would just probably like charge you an X amount of dollars, and then you attend their webinars based on that. But like webinars, I would say like you can use for a number of places. You can run ads on Facebook, Instagram, Google ads. You can run on LinkedIn, Twitter. Now, Twitter, I added that over here because Twitter's like getting a lot of attention recently. Like I recently saw like there are 10 or 20 million new users that are constantly getting added like in few months. Now, there's again, money follows attention. That's what's happening with Twitter. Like people are like curious, like they're like, oh, what's Elon doing now? Let me let me sign up. And that's saying like fear of missing out. So people, like a lot of people are joining Twitter back, or they're reactivating their profiles back on that because they feel like there's something to be offered over there. Now, Twitter, when Elon took over that platform, a lot of advertisers started leaving Twitter, thinking like, oh, like gone are the days of making any like good leads out of it. But that's really good opportunity for everyone, because now not many advertisers are on that platform, so you can easily promote your products over there. Now, Twitter has a thing called, I don't know how many of you have already tried this, Twitter Space. And it's almost like like a podcast kind of thing where you can add your audience. Really effective. Right now, the reach on those are really, really good. Like I know, like a lot of these platforms, like have killed the organic reach, but like I would say Twitter is like there's a lot of potential that I see over there. Now, again, promote your webinars. Try to set up a free webinar. Once you're done with this session, I would say like pick a product, pick a value that you can offer to people. Now, a question would be like, what kind of webinar topic should I work on? It could be anything. Like for example, like I do a lot of webinars telling like people like how the top 1% are generating leads, and that gets a lot of attraction. We recently have franchise and business webinars. Please, sorry. If you guys have any questions, just raise your hand, okay? But like, try to please stay on mute, just so it kind of works better that way. Now, in terms of, like again, back to webinars, like very effective. I might, if I get a chance, I probably would show you a landing page that is capturing those leads as well, just so you have an idea of what type of, like process we have for our webinars. Now, let's be mindful of time. Let me just try to wrap this slide section first, and then Q&A right after that. Now, I just have an example of like a lead generation process, right? Like this is like something that I set up for a client recently, where they were trying to target like companies that or that would potentially take their educational services. So like we started off with like identifying like majority of their customers or clients were hanging out on LinkedIn. So we created like an automation process where a software sends messages to like people on LinkedIn, creates a connection. And it also had like a drip follow-up. Drip follow-ups are like basically like, like a sequence of emails that go out right after a lead signs up. Facebook leads, a lot of marketers are, like right now using those, like they're one of the top lead generation platforms, I would say. I personally like to use it for lookalike audience. If you have some sort of database or some sort of audience that is already there, I would say it is really good for lookalike audience. Google or Google search ads, I would recommend. They're really good for retargeting. Again, don't get me wrong, like Google search ads can be used for, first time leads as well. Now, one thing that is a big difference in terms of any social media platform or Google ads is like on a social media platform, you're pretty much like fishing for clients. You're like, you don't really know where your clients are. You can't really like go super detailed. They are not really looking for you. They're trying to connect with their friends and family, or trying to watch a funny video on their social platform, and then they see your ad, right? So like that's pretty much like you're like fishing. You're just like trying to find clients by running ads. Whereas Google obviously is gonna be a really good choice because people take an action. They go on Google, they try to search for some sort of service, and then they find an ad recommending that that service is provided by this company. So that obviously works really well. But the Google ads are also, like I would say they are slightly expensive than Facebook lead generation ads. Now, one thing that I don't have on this presentation deck, which I would recommend, so retargeting ads. Okay, Now, retargeting is like, like when you go on any website, let's say I visit your website that sells sunglasses, for example, right? Now I leave your website and I go on, let's say YouTube, I go on Facebook, or I go on like, let's say Washington Post to read a news about something. Your ad is going to follow me through that journey, right? So I don't know if you have been to like a website where you browse a product, or when you click on something and then you constantly your entire feed or on social media or the website that you're visiting all have ads about the same product. So that is basically retargeting. You can search more about it. I would say if you are not using retargeting, especially through for the people that are visiting your website already and they are not converting or they're not signing up on something, you need to do retargeting. So retargeting is very effective in that case because they already have some sort of understanding about your product. It's the only thing that you have to do is like retarget. Also, let's say 100 people sign up on something that you were offering. Now, out of those 100 people, let's say 10 people signed up as a paid customer or like paying client. Now, those 90 people, you can retarget them by showing some sort of offers, right? Like, I mean, some sort of discounts or some sort of like offers, or try to, bring attention back to their mind that like, oh, this product exists, this service exists. So like, let's go back on that. SEO, organic marketing, on-site, off-site. I'm not going to go too detail on that. Now, number 5, campaign automation triggers. Now, hear me out on this thing. This is again not on the presentation, so I would like everyone to like slightly pay attention to what I'm going to say. Now, with regards to your campaign, like I mean, when I say campaign nurturing or like campaign follow-ups, what that really means is like, let's say I go on a website as a client, right? I go on a website and I'm browsing for, let's say, a franchise for sale. Okay. Now let's take an example of, let's say, a pizza franchise. Okay. I go on a pizza franchise. I fill up my information because I want to own one of the pizza franchise. Now, what happens right after that? Now, like we are in an age and time where like people have a really like short, like attention span, because we constantly go through browse through like number of videos. Like I had someone who said like they browse like, I don't know, in their history, like 600 videos in a day. I was saying, whoa. So like attention span is like a problem right now. Now, how do you get most out of it? Now, once I fill up your form on your website, once you have my email or my phone number, that's it. You have to work your magic. You have to call me like I personally like tell this to my team members or like my sales team. Once a lead comes in, call them within first 5 minutes. If they don't call them in within the first 5 minutes, we have some sort of like we see it as a big problem with our company. So we call every single lead between the like respectful like if they sign up at 2 a.m. obviously we're not going to call them at that time, but like if they call between or they sign up on something between 9 to 5, they 100% going to get a call from us. Now, if they don't receive a call or if they don't pick up a call, they're going to receive an email, they're going to receive an SMS, they're going to receive a follow-up email. We are till they go, and there's also no limitation in terms of what the follow-up should be. Some people are like, oh, I already sent 2 emails, so it doesn't look nice to like send another email. Well, that's a mistake. Someone signed up for some service that they were interested, and that they picked you as one of their platforms to like share their information. They already gave their email and phone number. That's enough. Like you have to constantly try to get in touch with them. If they go like, well, don't call me again, prefer email, and email it is. Now, again, what is the best process, or what would I say is the best nurturing process? Well, here's the thing. Emails, WhatsApp, Facebook message, Instagram messages, they all get lost. they all get lost. I get so many of them. I'm pretty sure you guys get a lot of emails and a lot of WhatsApp or Instagram messages. The best thing to do once you get their information on your landing page or your website, send them an SMS. SMS have like 90% open rate. 90% open rate. Emails have like the industry standard for email open rate is 13%. So you can't expect, like, hey, that person, I sent him 5 emails and he's not getting back to me. Well, the problem is you haven't called or texted them. So I would always start with like, call them within 5 minutes. Do not waste any time. Once they sign up, call them within the first 5 minutes. If they don't pick up the call, send an SMS. Hey, I try to reach out to you on this, and also keep it like in a way that is short and concise message. So like people like go like, okay, this person tried to reach out to me. All right. Now emails, like even if they, let's say if we connected over a call, still send me an email, send me a follow-up. Thank you. It was like great talking to you, Kabir, and that this is like some information about our company. This is what we discussed. People like follow-up, right? Follow-up. Now, another, like if anyone went to marketing school, like they teach you like piece of marketing, like positioning, place, promotion. What I tell, and I do like, like digital marketing sessions as well, where I teach like, there's only 3 things that you focus on. 3 pieces of marketing: promote, promote, and promote. You are constantly promoting yourself. Like any opportunity you get to promote yourself, you should be capturing, and like you should make sure you make the most out of it. Now let's go back on the slide for a sec, because I wanted to cover one thing. Now these are the mistakes or the common lead generation like problems that I've seen. Now this obviously is not based on like any internet research. This is like what really happens with my clients. Now, number 1 mistake, they don't know where the clients hang out. Like I had a person that I was doing some sort of marketing strategy with, and they said like they spend money on every single platform. So like, why? They're like, oh, we never know like where the person is. Like I'm not going to tell the product or the company, but I'm going to tell you this, like this is what really happened. I said like, your audience is 35 to 55 year of age. Why are you targeting people on TikTok or Snapchat? And their answer was like, well, the kids sometimes go to their parents and they recommend services. I said like, well, how much money do you have? They're like, we are a bootstrap company. We have a limited amount of budget. So they were spending money on every platform. So, well, don't gamble with your money. Have a very detailed market research with regards to where your clients are, like probably going to be hanging out. In terms of and this is like based on what I've done over the years. If you guys want, you can write this down as well. There's no slide for this. Like what are from most expensive to least expensive in terms of paid advertisement for lead generation? I would say I would put Facebook pretty much at the bottom. It's very inexpensive. A lead can cost, I've seen leads coming at few cents. Okay, so don't ask me how I do it, but like that's what I've seen leads come at. Now, right after that, I would say Google Ads is a good choice. And again, guys, when I say Facebook, let me correct one thing. I mean the entire meta universe, like Instagram, like Messenger, like Facebook. Like Facebook ads can be shown at up to like 11 different, like segments. We don't even realize it, but like Facebook ads can be shown on Facebook videos, Facebook timeline, like Messenger, Instagram, Reels, number of things. So all of those is what I would say. Then right after that, Google ads are pretty good. They're slightly expensive than Facebook, but I would say they're pretty good in terms of, because people are really searching for something that you offer, and that's how they're finding you. So I would say Google ads are pretty good. Like now, the most expensive, I would say, in terms of platforms that I've experienced is LinkedIn. And I've tried for like, I don't know, maybe like a number of clients that have asked me to run their ads on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn seems to be very expensive, but the quality also is pretty good on that. I would say like, now pick your platform base of that, this is like something that I can tell you, like out of those 100 million that we have spent on different ad campaigns, like this is what our study reflected. Like LinkedIn seemed to be one of the most expensive platforms. Now, again, I'm not going to touch down on the second point, not calling your leads within 24 hours. If the lead is not called in 24 hours, consider it a dead lead. Lead needs to be kept warm, and the lead needs to be called within 24 hours. If that's something that you are missing, that's already a problem with the business. So fix that, please. Now, lead nurturing process, like people, like, as I said, like even like when you're trying to buy a home today, you have like 10 different websites that are open. Okay. And then you're browsing for a home, like you're buying a pair of shoes from Amazon and you're inquiring on it, right? So the point is, like, people want to get the best value for their money, right? And if they are signing up on something, they probably are signing up on 10 different websites as well. So you need to be one of those players that is, like reaching out them as the first view. And people sometimes pay extra for the customer support or the experience that they have with the company. I've done it. Like I've seen clients, they go like, oh, well, this company has way better support, or I had one of the best experiences with them because they explain, they understand their products. Like all of those things do matter. Now, lead forms. Lead forms are used for capturing information. One big mistake that I've seen, and I've seen it with like, big, like billion-dollar companies as well. And they have fixed it. As I said, like the attention span is super low these days for people, like, because there's a lot of content that we can consume. So I would say the fields that I usually like to capture is like full name, email, phone number. That's it. You don't need any more information. Keep your page that you're sending the traffic to, keep it very specific to the product that you're trying to sell. Don't sell like 20 products on one page. Keep like dedicated landing pages for your products, and keep the lead form short. Now, some people think like having a lot of fields would get you a quality audience. Well, the answer is yes and no. I have seen like people that are really, really qualified and they had the money to spend on a business. They just like get fed up. Like when they see like 10 different fields, where do you stay? What is this? Like when you see like so many fields, they just like, oh man, like I'm on a train, I'm on a bus, I'm driving, I'm in a meeting and I see this ad, then I click on it, then I see like 20 fields that I have to fill. I'm already gone. Now you might go like, hey, well, people go on my landing page, they go on my website and they just don't sign up. The problem is probably you have like a really bad lead form. Your lead form is asking way too many questions than it should be. Leave some of the conversation to be done over the phone, right? Now, in terms of CTA, now I did mention this before. For those of you already know, does anyone know what CTA is? Michelle, you want to tell people what your understanding for CTA is?
Yeah, call to action.
Call to action, perfect. Now, call to actions again, like I go on websites and they're like 10 different buttons, and they all look like and the worst is like red button, and then like I'm myself confused, like where do I click? What are they trying to sell me? And then sometimes they have like their CTA at the very bottom of the website. You go through the entire page and like, oh, please sign up now. Please, looking forward to connecting with you. Well, have that on the top of the page. Like, why would you have it at the very bottom? So like CTA buttons are super important. So make sure you have them on the top of the website. Now, some clients that are like have started to get some attraction on lead generation, they like the problem that I've seen that they are facing now, they only rely on few platforms. You might go like, well, Facebook is doing the best job for me. I'm just going to spend all my money on Facebook. Please do not put all your eggs in one basket. And that's going to like lead to trouble in the future. Because one example that I can give you that really happened with us, like Facebook came up with this, like geolocation thing that I don't know if anyone followed with Apple, where you can't really, in order to see ads on Facebook now, you have to, like on your mobile app, this app's going to track you, this app's going to send you ads, and then you have to approve it in order to see the ads. So they're not really like geo-targeted the way they were done in 2017, 2016, right? Now, so I would say like you never know when they change the algorithm of a platform and you just like you lose all your business overnight. I had a client they were selling cloud services to like B2B audience. Their 100% reliance was on Facebook. Facebook did that, and all of a sudden their business dropped by 70%. So please do not have that kind of mistake. Now, let's move to the Q&A section. A lot of things that I've discussed over here are based on the questions that you guys have asked. Okay, so I've tried to prepare this presentation based on that. So Bill, I'm still going to go through the questions, and if anyone has any questions, I would leave some time for that as well. Now, let's start off with the, I'm going to just like quickly give you, my answers with regards to like what I feel. Now, the first question is like cleaning service based in Toronto, targeting local commercial spaces. What are the key lead generation activities I should focus on? Well, I would say in your line of business, and I've already worked with commercial cleaning companies, so I would say focus on two things. People are looking for, like recommended service. So I would say like have a really good review system, promote those reviews on different platforms. Now, with regards to my choices for the platform, I would say like run, I would say like if you have, let's say $100, spend 40 on Google ads and 60 on Facebook. But when you do Facebook ads, try to retarget people that have visited your website. Okay. Now, let's go on the next one. How do I know when to scale the digital marketing activities? The answer is simple. Whichever is your winner in terms of your lead generation, like 10x that platform. Like, let's say you're spending $1,000 on like one platform, and that's getting you the best result out of 10 different platforms. Here's your answer. Just like scale that into 10x, like not even 1x, just go like 10 times, right? Now, what's the best way to create a presence on LinkedIn? By constantly staying active on LinkedIn, creating second target audience for B2B business. Okay. Also, what would be the optimal way to reach the audience and generate brand awareness? Okay. Well, the thing on LinkedIn now, like, paid advertisement is super expensive. One that I personally like is like reaching out people through connections, right? Now you might go like, well, do I spend 1 hour, 2 hours a day and building connections and finding people? The answer is do not do that. There are softwares that do that for you. You can use a software that would go and build a connection for you, send a message, and that I would say is like going to be 100 times better than spending money on LinkedIn. Now, once you go on, obviously I'm not going to go in too much in detail, but I'm going to give you a few insight on this. Go on LinkedIn, set up your audience, use a software that does LinkedIn automation. One software that I can give you as an example that I personally use is called Duck Soup. So you use it for, it kind of like automatically creates connections. You select an audience and it sends the messages, and it also has drip campaigns, which is which is really good, sorry. In the sense, because it kind of follows with those leads that are connected now. So I would say like whatever your niche is, like select that audience, build connections, send them messages, keep them warm. And once they're connected, start offering them some sort of value, right? You can't really go like, hey, I offer web services. No, you have to create some sort of value. Well, I've noticed your profile. This is what I offer. Would you be interested in some sort of webinar about this? And right? I mean, people, you need like different touch points in order to convert a client, right? So like I would recommend like your first message would probably go unnoticed, right? Because like that's how it is. Like I go on my LinkedIn, if I open it right now, I probably have like 20 messages, 30 messages that are coming in constantly in like maybe like in few hours, to be honest. I have like about 25,000 people that I'm connected on LinkedIn. Trust me, like it's like when I want to see some message that I was waiting for, it's like going through puzzles, because it's like so many unwanted messages that are coming because people constantly want to sell you something to you. So my theory is very different. I always send a message with the value. Please download a free checklist, download this ebook, download this, like go sign up for this webinar. Yes, Ashifa, if you want to go with the question.
Thanks, Kabir. Sorry, I missed the program you said that you're using. Can you repeat what program you're using?
Sure. It's called DUX. So let me just type it for you guys.
Yes, thank you.
And there are a number of them, right? So there's no, right, like one or two platforms. Like there are like hundreds of them. So this is the one that I use. Like, I mean, you can try out trials with different platforms and see which one's working for you. Now let's move ahead. Online presence. Well, I don't know like what do you mean by online presence, but what I can recommend, like any platform that can have your website URL or your website link, it should have it, right? You might go like, well, my audience is not on Instagram. So create an Instagram page, because you never know. Like, I mean, are you telling me like the millions of people that visit Instagram are not going to notice you? Because people like to follow, like see everything, right? Like you never know where your audience is hanging out. Anything that is organic and is free and takes no dollar other than your manual work of setting up a page, set all of those up, right? Now, what are effective strategies to attract more leads? I already gave some insight on that, but I would say create an offer, create a valuable offer, try out a webinar, or if you have a really good landing page, just go on that landing page. And I'll give you an example. Before we end the session, I'm going to give you an example of a landing page as well, just so you guys know like what I personally prefer. And I will give you some insights on like what is good on that landing page that is converting. Okay. What is the best method for reach solopreneurs, existing and new? LinkedIn or Startup Toronto, right? We have like over 1,000 people over there. So that's the best way. You can always offer some sort of value for them. And you never know if they are gonna, they might be interested in your service or your expertise, right? That's what it is to build connections and then build relationships among each other. I'm interested in learning more about the best and effective. Again, we touched on a number of them. What are the major difference between B2B and B2C? Oh, that's a good one. Now, B2B is like business to business and B2C is like business to consumer. B2B is slightly difficult than B2C. Reason being, there are like X amount of businesses that you can sell your services to, right? Let's say like few thousands, right? Consumer on this other side could be a bigger audience, and you can like consumer audience is always bigger, but like B2B products are usually more expensive than a B2C product, because B2B is like business to business. Like let's say if I want to buy a printer as a consumer, I'm probably going to go on a website, order maybe one, maximum 2 printers for myself. As a B2B company, I'm probably going to order like minimum of like 5 to 50 printers, right? Or maybe like a printer that is on a industrial level, right? Now, in my platform, I have to market to both, which presumably requires 2 separate marketing strategies. That is true. You would require a different strategy for both of those audiences. Are there any themes that I can capitalize on? Well, one piece of advice that I would give you, if you have 2 separate audiences, make sure your website flows with the same understanding. If I go as a B2B client on your website, I should know how the website is going to flow. I should be able to see, let's say, again, I'm going to take an example of a franchise. Let's say Pizza, for example, right? Now, Pizza sells like their pizzas to B2C, that is consumers, like people consume pizzas from them. They also sell franchises, right? Now, when you go on their website, they have like a franchise section. They also have like a menu section, right? Order food, buy a franchise. So that's like the flow should be very clear. And I would say create 100% stick to the separate strategy. Make sure that audience is visiting your page for B2B or B2C. They are targeted accordingly. One ad doesn't fit for both the audience. You can't have like the same ad. Okay, this ad is a winner for B2C audience. Let me run the same ad for B2B. Again, another example. Now, let's say if I see an image for Pizza, which has a big slice of pizza, and it says like, oh, franchise for sale. I might go like, just because like the way people are these days, like, and I have the same case for me and majority of you guys, you see a big slice of pizza, you might go like, oh, let me order Pizza now. And that ad was for franchise, right? Now, how would I run my B2B ad for Pizza? I would just have a storefront, have a slice of pizza, and have like a entrepreneur standing on that image. that would make me feel like that's a business, right? So that's a really quick example, like, like how I would differentiate, like B2B, like and B2C, content, marketing strategy, platform, flow of the website needs to be separate. Now, how do you reach out? How do you approach researching leads when you are new to industry or space? Networking doesn't feel organic when you're new to an industry. Well, that is true. Networking, again, depending on where you network with or who do you network with, could be challenging. So I would say, since like majority of people like like are all online, figure out like one simple thing that I give as a recommendation. Figure out who is your competition. It could be like, you might go like, well, the company that I'm competing against is like $1 billion company. Doesn't matter. So go on their website. There are ways where you can go on a website and you can track the referral websites. What I mean by that, let's say, let me take a volunteer. Michelle, I'm going to take you as one of my volunteers, if that's okay with you. Now, let's say she's one of my competitors, right? And she's like doing an amazing job with her products. Let's say the product is like, let's say shoes, for example. Okay, she sells like amazing designer shoes. Trying to compete against her. My audience goes to her website. Now, how would I know what she's doing? I'm gonna, like, simple thing. Go on a website that tracks referrals for the website. So let's say maybe she has like a blogger that has written a blog for her, and she gets a number of traffic from there. She might have an influencer that she asked to make a YouTube video, and then she sold like $1 million worth of shoes from there, right? So the answer is simple. Someone has already spent the money, and in this case, like she's like already spent the money, and then she kind of knows like what is working. So just follow what she does. But like, obviously, she might have like a bigger budget than mine. So I would say, just first of all, have an understanding what your competitors are doing. Now, are they missing a platform, or what is working for them? Obviously, start off with that, but then you have to get creative. You have to find platforms where they are not promoting. Okay, so that's one simple way to understand, what is going to work or what's not going to work for your space. Now, let's say you're not on a level of like using tools that are going to tell you referrals or website traffic. Then simple thing, go on their social media platform. See like what kind of posts, what kind of content, what kind of stuff they're posting. You're going to find a lot of answers through that as well. And then let's say, for example, let's say back to the same example. Let's say if I go on her website and I say like, oh, let me click on LinkedIn. Oh, LinkedIn last 2 years, she only made 50 posts. Let me go on Instagram. Oh, Instagram has 5,000 posts. There is your answer, Instagram, because it's working for her. That's why she's constantly posting content on that. That's it. I mean, you have to get creative. There's like, well, marketing, to be honest, like is very simple. Just have to put some thought to it, and then you're gonna get answers as you like research about your competitor products and other services that are in the market. Creating an Instagram and Facebook for business pages, 100% do that. Do always, and have them linked on your website. You never know. That's free marketing. Creating a page costs you nothing. And make sure you add content to it on a timely manner. I would say like add at least 3 posts. Even if you go like, hey, I'm not getting enough people to like my post, there's no reach to it. Well, here's an answer. Today, go on Facebook and see like how many followers Kardashians have. Like Kim Kardashian probably has like, I don't know, I think like 36 million or something. And go check her posts. She probably would have a few thousand likes on it, few thousand like comments on it. Reason being, Facebook is smart now. Like Facebook doesn't want you to, grow organic. They want you to spend money, right? If it was so simple, like now organic marketing still exists, but it's not to the level that it used to be on, for example, on Facebook. Now, I've noticed like maybe like probably 20% of the audience that follows you only sees your organic post. That's how it is. Sometimes like I would post something on Facebook, for example, and my friends and family would not even notice. I was like, Mom, why didn't you like my image? And she's going like, I didn't even saw it. I'm like, oh, there's something with the algorithm. And that's the same pattern that I've seen with a lot of other people. But like 100%, not even just Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, every platform that can have your page, like Twitter. You might go like, well, I don't like Twitter, I don't like to like add text content, but still, like, Twitter is like going with videos, images, a number of things now, right? So use every single platform that is available. Specific ways to create for every business for marketing. I would say if you watch your number of KPIs that you can follow through. The ones that I personally like to do is like, what was the cost per result? And then I like, once that I get that cost, let's say like my cost per one lead is $7, just making that up, right? Now if that is $7, now I need 10 leads in order to convert one paid customer. So that is like almost like gonna be like $70. You're gonna spend $70 in order to acquire one customer. So that's like simple key metrics to understand. Now there's a number of ways that you need to understand every single thing. Like there's like, when we talk about when I say KPIs, there's like key indicators of like what's working or what's not working. So in terms of KPIs, I would say track everything, like landing page views, ad views, all of those are important. Now, let's see, first time IT customer, how about to start? Webinar, my friend. You have to have a webinar about your IT services. Go on LinkedIn, message everyone that is potentially your client. Use the automation process. If you are on slightly like tight on budget right now, or if you have the budget, run ads, offer some value. Tell people like why they need your service, like scare them. Like people like to be scared, right? And that's usually the tactic that a lot of people like, emotional, like anything that will connect with someone. Oh, you always make that mistake. I need that software in order to help me make my process easier. Now, how to bring in existing online business with a little traction back to life on a budget. Figure out what's going to work. Figure out the winners. If you haven't already figured out the winners for your lead generation, you have to figure out what's going to work. You have to spend some money. You have to like, I mean, you can't be like completely be relying on organic marketing for business. I would say like, spend some money, figure out what's working, what's not. How did you get to where currently are? So my simple process for like all the knowledge that I've gained, constantly learning. So if there's any platform, I track them in and out. I read every single thing that is happening with the platform, like any new updates, any new insight in terms of what is working, what's not working on the platform. I mean, I'm not friends with like Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. I'm just like following what they're adding on the platform, right? They're not giving me inside information what's going to work. So I would say focus on keep yourself very relevant to what is working. Do some courses like online. Like, I mean, digital marketing is very tricky, and lead generation especially. Whatever I knew 6 months ago doesn't really work anymore, because probably the algorithm changed, the software has changed. Like there's new platforms that are constantly coming in, like Instagram recently launched Threads to compete against Twitter. So like there's a number of things going on. So I would say like keep yourself knowledgeable, constantly learn, do any single online course that is available in your field, and then try to capture on that information. Now, in terms of since you're B2B lead generation, is there one thing you would bring to your platform? What would it be? Now, B2B, I would say, again, lead nurturing is super important. Like obviously lead, you can generate through a number of ways. But I would say a lot of clients, they think like the quantity is not really the game, right? Like the quality is the game. Now, how do you get a qualified audience? If someone's spending, let's say all of you guys over here have spent like almost like over an hour, and I know like we are slightly over the time now. I just gonna give you 5 more minutes if anyone has any questions to ask in person. So if anyone wants to go with a question, raise your hand, and I'm happy to answer any questions that any one of you have. And it could be based on anything that we might have on this presentation, or we might not have. So that's also like, in case if anyone wants to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can scan this, bring your phone up, scan this QR code, and we would be connected on LinkedIn. Just mention you met me on this webinar, and we should be connected. Now, any questions? Like anyone over here has any live question for me? Okay. All right, so I'm gonna end with this note. Like, well, as I said, like money follows attention. Create your attention, create your value, create the right offer. Make sure you understand what's working, what's not working, and capitalize on the platforms that are giving you the winner leads. Okay, and see a few messages over here. All right, perfect. All right, guys, thanks for your time, and I'm gonna see you like on the Startup Toronto platform. For my email, well, it was on the first slide. Let me just move that back to you. My email's over here, so right below my name. So if anyone wants to connect with me or anything, but like LinkedIn is the best platform because like I do get all the updates over there, and I'm very super active on LinkedIn, to be honest. And 10,000 platforms pretty good as well. If you have any questions, obviously we can connect over there as well, like whichever works for you. And again, guys, please make sure you try out different things before you just like spend all your money on one platform. All right, so that's all. And thank you, everyone. So thanks again for joining. I saw like a lot of you guys stayed throughout the 1 hour. So I think like hopefully you guys gained some insight on like what I was trying to get with regarding lead generation. And thanks again for hosting this or reaching out to me, Full City, and hopefully, I don't know, I mean, let's see what the feedback is, but like, if this works out, can give more insight on the future. Maybe we can do something in the future again.
Perfect. Sounds great, Kabir. Thank you so much for your time today. I know that I really enjoyed the session, and I think everyone else in the room did. I'm seeing some great comments in the chat. So thanks again, everyone, for your time, and especially to Kabir for such an amazing, thoughtful, insightful presentation. Take care, everybody. Bye.
All right. Thank you.